Well, howdy everyone. Been a while since I've been on here. Here's the long story short. Try to keep it as short as I can. Let me turn the light on here. Stepvan's kind of mess in the back. I got tools and stuff kind of piled out right now. Until I get everything kind of buttoned up. I should have it cleaned up tomorrow. I got to go get it inspected Saturday. Today's Thursday evening right now. Anyways, yep, I got a mess here. It's just because I just finally got this Stepvan going. Got my inverter running. So here's what we got. Got my small block Chevy back in finally. And I have little things still I gotta do. I'm rebuilding the carburetor. I have another Holley 600 I'm gonna use. It's a 4-barrel. I got my floor shifter. I think I'll probably raise it up, but I'm not sure if I'm going to. If anything, I may move it back because sometimes when you step through here, it bumps. I put this piece here on. That's to keep it from popping out of gear, so I don't have to worry about dropping out of gear. This is an automatic now. I did get my parking brake fixed yesterday. Finally, here's my controller for the US shift for the transmission. It has all kinds of cool little features on it. That's something I gotta take back. Exhaust piece. And let me see what we got here. So here's the transmission. That's the inline parking brake. It's a 4L80E transmission. There's my rebuilt motor with everything done on it. I got the flex plate. I'm sorry, I'm looking at what the camera's looking at. I had to have the drive shaft length changed. I removed my transmission cross member to make up for this transmission. I don't remember my last video which transmission I had. I'll have to go back and look. I think I had the one with the regular slip yoke. I had to take it out because I needed a transmission with the parking brake. Anyways, I'm gonna try not to move this around too much. Let me start this up real quick. Hasn't started in a few days. And it usually, you know, the old school carburetor, you just pump it once. I feel like I'm running a little low on my vacuum. My timing's correct. It's actually pulled right off in about 60 seconds. Drop the fast idle. But, yep. Good pressure. Temperature still go up. I got temperature here. I have an electronic fan. Close this up. Keep that buttoned up. So I have an electronic fan. I think I may put the mechanical one on. It seems like that, or I need to get more of the air purged out of my transmission. Or not transmission, I'm sorry, my engine. Sorry, I'm looking at stuff while I'm trying to talk. And this button here is for my rear view camera, which I have on the back of the Stepvan. This just goes over the rear view mirror, which, because I have a partition here, you can't see out the rear view mirror. Anyway, so that's kind of, that's about where you want it. I think I have, I may need, my carburetor I think needs to be rebuilt. The way it fluctuates like that, my RPM's pretty dead on. It'll go down a little more. This is an aftermarket cam, and they say sometimes the aftermarket camshaft will have a lower vacuum. But I got everything running. I'm excited, finally going. And goes into gear, does everything it's supposed to do. I have an appointment Saturday to get the inspection done. Everything I think I still have an exhaust leak. I'm going to see if it'll pass. If it doesn't, then I'll just have to fix it. I've replaced this donut gasket a couple of times now on this pipe. I don't know why it does that. That's kind of a weird deal. Yeah, anyways, turn it off for a while. But that's kind of where I'm at. I have another transmission that I bought. Let me see if I can give me a second here. There. My garage still a mess. That's the original 4L80E. It had a slip yoke on it, and so I had to, let me get a light turned on here. stuff tripped. Yeah, it had a slip yoke on it, and I decided to go back to the transmission that had a parking brake, inline parking brake on it, because trying to modify my dually wheels to allow for a parking brake wasn't going to work because it has a dual cylinder wheel. And it just, you know, trying to figure out the cables and the plate, the back plate where the cable would go through, the parking brake cable would go through, wasn't jiving. So I was like, I might as well just go ahead and swap the transmission. And what also caused it is I changed the valve body on this, and I know the valve body was good, but it just would never, it would go into first, reverse, park, all that stuff, and might hit second, but it did just slip real bad. So I think I got screwed on Marketplace for this transmission. So I just went ahead and pulled it, and I bought another one, the same year, model year 2002, but the new 4L80 came out of a G45 or a W4500, which is a GMC, basically a 3500 vehicle. Yeah, it's a Suzu GMC. Anyways, it's a weird partnership there, but so I went ahead and pulled this out, put the one that's in there now, and it works fine. And I will rebuild this with the power of YouTube. I have all kinds of capabilities, and I will put this style inline parking brake on this. I bought, it was only $100 for the housing, which is a little bit longer. Now I have to replace this, the output shaft, which will come in the, that is part of it right there. It's part of the drum. Anyways, I found this on eBay, so I got lucky. Anyways, it's the old, it's this exact same thing as what's on the vehicle now. And so that will work for that. I also got rid of the old the old SM465. So someone bought that. Actually, they took it on trade when I swapped this out. I had to buy this other transmission, and they wanted a core. Well, I didn't want to give them my old 4L80 because I'm going to rebuild it. So I gave them the SM465. And so I have the parts I need to put the inline brake onto this transmission. So when I get it swapped out, I can swap that other one out. Garage is a mess. I don't even want to show you the garage. Here's the other carburetor I'm rebuilding. But on eBay, it's $100, and the kit's 30. It's the same one that's on the vehicle right now. I bought a one of these Vivor ultrasonic cleaners, and it's heated and it has timer. And you know, for carburetors, they say you need to use something that won't dissolve metals. So it's like I've watched a lot of carburetor shows, and they use pine sol. In the past, I've always just used a solid tank, you know, to do it, and carburetor cleaner, and then compressed air to blow out anything. But I'm gonna really go through this. I want to go on ahead and soak it. And they say pine sol doesn't attack the metals, and there's different metals. You know, there's steels, there's aluminums. Of course, I'll take the plastic off. I want to rebuild it, but yeah. So, anyways, I bought this, and it's the 6 liter, I believe. It's a bigger size, and I'll just tear that carburetor down and drop it in there. Let it soak for 30 minutes to an hour. And this is the old Rochester that was on there, and it's I had to kind of go to something different because the way my throttle position sensor mounts didn't jive up too good. So with that, so let me step out here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this 4L80E transmission controller, it's made by Quick Shift. This is the Quick 2, I believe. That's what this one is. Anyways, so it's kind of cool. Let me see if I can turn the key so you can see it. It tells you all the different facts you can go through, and you know, you can go on ahead and adjust to all these different parameters. I don't even have my glasses on, so I don't even know what I'm looking at. Let me, okay, so we'll go back to home screen. I don't want to go through everything right now. But anyway, so everything plugs in. If you see this, one of the wires went right here. And some of them went all the way down to the bottom. Plugged in the transmission. I got my electric fan going. Let me turn it off. There you go. I like to have everything on switch, but I also have a temperature switch that will kick it on if the vehicle's off. And you know, like I just drove somewhere, and I turned the vehicle off, and all of a sudden sitting there, and it gets hotter for a minute. So this is the bracket I had to use for this throttle position switch sensor, I guess. And I got to make a couple of modifications to it. The way they have it set up, you can only put one screw in on the side there before this piece here will hit when you go throttle. So let me see if I can, let me do it here. So anyways, otherwise it hits the other screw hole. But that's that. Anyways, the engine runs great, works perfect, smooth. You know, I might have to adjust this choke. It is electric, which is nice. There's a few things on these carburetors you got to kind of pay attention to when you rebuild them. So I'm going to go through the new one, and I'm just getting this. I just got this so I can get the motor going. I got to pass inspection, and I'll go ahead and rebuild the other one when I got time. I don't know. I opted to use points and condenser again instead of going to electronic ignition. I'm still kind of price shopping electronic ignition. You know, they got a lot of aftermarket ones, and you get what you pay for, but there are some pretty good low budget ones. I think Proform makes one maybe. The problem is they don't make any of them like they used to. If you find an old 70s, 80s Delco Remy electronic ignition, then hang on to it, because those parts are way better than any of these aftermarket things. That's just my opinion. I mean, I know MSD, and there's a few other Edelbrock, and I'm not sure who all makes the different aftermarket ones, but they, you know, they just don't make them like they used to. So anyway, so that's that. So that's where I'm at, and I got nothing leaks. Everything works perfect. I think I still need to bleed some more air out of my engine, you know, running around a little bit. Like I said, I got to clean up the back area of this here so I can go get my vehicle spec'd on with this stuff sliding around. A lot of this stuff was just piled in here because I was either welding or cutting or grinding or bolting stuff on or taking stuff off, so it's like I've got a mess. Anywho, that's where I'm at. Sorry it's been so long since I had any videos. The toolbox on wheels, mobile Stepvan, mobile locksmith business. The neighbor's probably happy I'm gonna finally start driving it. The only other thing is these tires, they're like 9 or 12 ply, but they have weather cracking in them. That's the only other thing I can worry about with inspection. They start dinging me for that, but I mean, they're pretty heavy duty. I don't know how many ply these are, but these are heavy duty wheels, but you really need to. That'd be my next thing. I'm gonna have to buy more wheels. I'll rebuild that car, that transmission. That'll be probably about $500 for me to rebuild it. That's parts, and I'll use what I can. It's there, you know, and if there's anything bad, I'll replace it. But the kits are, you know, $300 to $500. Depends on what level kit you get. I don't need a shift kit, anything fancy. I want a good transmission that I can just set on a shelf, and when I'm ready to swap it out, I swap it out. It's kind of where I'm at with this. And then, or I could sell it. The rebuilt transmissions like these, they go for quite a bit. My exhaust almost hit that drum, but it didn't. I got lucky. I couldn't believe it. Anyways, you can't see from the angle, but it's missing for quite a bit. So, anyways, that's where I'm at. And so that's the other thing in my state, Missouri, you got to have a good working emergency brake, and mine does. I had to do a bunch of stuff to modify it to work with this because the old transmission, it came in on the other side of the drum, and just kind of a bugger. I had to find a cable for it. Their Class A RV, I think it's a channel I watch occasionally. He did something similar to what I had to do, and he had part numbers, so that kind of helped me narrow down what I need to find. Nobody can find parts for these older vehicles like that. You know, the weird things, you know, the inline parking brakes. You really got to know specific model years and specific details to be able to look them up. Ray's Bestos, I think, is one outfit that has the one I need, and they're back ordered, so it'll probably be I don't know, November before I get the correct one, that I'll fix it so it's like it's supposed to be. I have it right now, so it'll work. It'll probably work permanently, but I'd rather have the right stuff. So anyways, that's where I'm at, and hopefully the next video I do, I'll be driving it and using it as my normal vehicle. So, all right, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.